Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to extract text between two delimiters in a string using some VBA in Microsoft Access. This is incredibly useful when you're dealing with text data and need to isolate particular information. So whether you're parsing through data retrieved from a web API, system logs, analyzing text files, or simply want to manipulate text in your Access databases, knowing how to do this can save you a ton of time. We're going to use some VBA and create a custom function called FindBetween to achieve this. This is an advanced developer lesson. We're going to use a bunch of code, okay? So here we go, get ready. All right, last week we did a web API lesson where I taught you how to use some VB code to go out to the web, get some data from a web page, whether it's a specific API or even just any web page you want, and it'll bring back the text on that page. Now, in this particular lesson, we just got it and just displayed it like that, but sometimes you're going to get data that's formatted differently. Most of the time, if you're dealing with a web API, it's going to return data that looks like this in a format called JSON. That stands for JavaScript Object Notation. And it's just a fancy way for pairing data up. You got name value pairs, right? You've got like, okay, here's our rates. This is for doing currency conversion. I covered this in one of my Access developer lessons. Okay, so we're starting off our base values euros, right? Here's the date that it was generated. Okay, and then US dollars is that value, right? 1.17 US dollars per euro, Australian dollars, and so on. So it's just packaging up name value pairs. Here's the same data in XML, right? You got tags in here instead. Same data, but it's just packaged differently. Or you might get plain text like this. And in any one of these cases, you've got to be able to find the start tag and the end tag of where you want to find the data between. All right, with JSON, for example, let's say you're looking for the US dollars. You want to find everything between this, right? And then the comma. So you want to, this is our find between. We want to find all of this stuff. Let me color it in, right? You want to find that. And then you want to find that and say, give me the text between those two things. All right, same thing here, but our tags are a little different, right? We're going to look between US dollars like that, okay, and then maybe look for that guy. You could find the whole tag if you want to, but really, you're just looking for where that thing starts. All right, but that's the point of this lesson. We're going to make a function that finds stuff between any two delimiters. All right, now, if you'd never done any programming in VBA before, go watch this video first. It's my intro to VBA. It's about 20 minutes long. It'll teach you everything you need to know to get started. And of course, while you're at it, go watch this video. We're not going to be doing any web API stuff today, but this FindBetween function, I'm showing this to you because we are going to be doing a lot with some other web APIs, including ChatGPT. And so the FindBetween function is very handy for parsing the data. And I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of my code for the function. I'm not going to explain everything in exquisite detail, but I'm going to give you the basics. But here are some other videos that'll help you if you're a beginner VBA programmer. Go watch my if-then video, my video on string functions like left, right, mid, and in-string. In fact, I've got a second video on in-string. Go watch this too. And this one can't hurt. This one's about making your own function, which I'm going to be showing you a function that I wrote and teaching you how to use it. All right, so these are all free videos. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. I'll put links down below that you can click on. Go watch these if you don't know any of these things first, and let's go. Okay, so the code we're going to use today is code that I wrote originally about a year ago. Actually, I have something kind of similar to this that I've been using for years in my own database, but I updated it and revised it about a year ago. And again, I'm going to walk you through this basically, but we're not going to cover every little nook and cranny of it. I do cover it in detail. Where is it? In my Access Developer 32 class. This is the big one where I cover FTP, getting value from web APIs, building the FindBetween function, right? Copying files to a web server, the currency conversion stuff, getting the information from the web API, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to learn specifically how this thing was built step by step, go get Access Developer 32. If not, here's the code. If you are a gold member, you can just hit the copy button down here to copy it to your clipboard, or you can download the database template that's on my webpage. For everybody else, get to typing or use some kind of OCR, screen recognition, whatever you want. Just copy that. That's the function. Go ahead, pause. I'll wait. Go on. All right, once you've got it, go to your database. I'm using my Tech Help free template. This is a free database. You can download off my website if you want to. And I'm going to come down here in my global module, and I'm going to paste this function right down on the bottom. There we go. Slide this up a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Okay. All right, now this function basically takes 3 bits of information: the whole string, the start delimiter, and the end delimiter, the thing that you want to start and end, what you're looking for in the string. Optionally, I added a second end delimiter. I'll explain why a little bit later. All right, right here we find the start text of the string. And then right here we find the end text. And this is bigger because it's optionally looking for a second end delimiter as well. We chop off any leading or trailing new line characters, tabs, carriage returns, that kind of stuff. And then we return the value, trimming it to get rid of any leading or trailing spaces. Why 2 end tags? Well, if you look at this data that's returned here for the currency conversion, notice that US dollars, Australian dollars, Canadian dollars, right? These all have commas after them, but the last guy in line does not have a comma. So you might want to also look for that curly brace. That's why I have it so you can optionally have a second end tag as well. So if that's the case, you send in the first tag here and then optionally the second tag. And what this basically does, it says L is equal to in string. So look inside the string of the whole thing, right? S whole, that's set to S. That really there is just to make it so that you don't have to put S whole everywhere. It just makes it nice and smaller. Hate dealing with S holes. All right, and if L is found, if it's not 0, that means it's found, right? Then it sets S equal to that. It just basically chops off the left side of that delimiter, and you add some characters in there for the length of the delimiter itself, right? And the same thing happens here again. We just chop off the right side. All right, so that's the function we're going to use. And again, if you want to learn more about how this was built, Access Developer 32. But this goes along with what I told you in the Web API class. In order to drive a car, you don't have to fully understand how an engine works. So all you really have to know is how FindBetween works. And now we're going to go work with it. So just put this in your database in a global module, okay? And now we can use it. All right, so let's take our form here. And let me make this a little bit bigger. We're going to put my text in here. We'll call it my text. And we'll make this guy bigger. First, let's update it a little bit here. Let's get rid of the name. I'm going to call it my text. And the control source is blank. And the format is nothing. Save that. And we're going to need copy that, paste, paste, paste. We need 3 more of them. Okay, we got my text. We got the start text. We'll call this guy start text. TXT. This will be end text. Right? ENDTXT. And this will be end text 2, which you don't always need. End text 2. Okay, and this is where our result's going to go down here. We can make this small. And let's make this text bigger so we can see the results, because we're just pulling out simple data. Right, FindBetween. Okay, end text and end text 2 can be nice and small down here. All right, start text can go there. And that was my alarm system in the background telling me I got a low battery. Okay. All right. There's always unexpected noises in my office, folks. That's why you always hear them in my videos. All right, so that's where we're going to paste the text right there. Actually, let's put end text. Get it out. Okay. Good enough, right? Do I obsess over my form object placement? Yeah, sometimes a little bit too much. Okay, good enough, right? All right, save that. All right, now what's our code going to look like in our FindBetween button here? Okay. We don't need status hello world. Well, I'm gonna do the FindBetween. I'm gonna put that value into S. So dim S as a string. And let's set the status box equal to blank before we start. That's that big gray box in the bottom where our results are going. Okay. First thing you want to do is check to see if my text is null, right? If they didn't put anything in here, we're going to say, hey, we don't have any data, All right, so if is null, my text then status. And if you don't know what the status function is, I got a whole video on that. I covered that when I build the Tech Help free template. I'll put a link to that special video down below as well. All right, status missing data, maybe a beep, and then exit sub. Okay, now S equals find between. What are we looking for? The whole string is my text, comma, start text, comma, end text, comma, optionally end text 2. Okay, now, in case any of these things are null, we want to deal with that right here. How do we deal with null values before we send them to a function? Right, because if you try to send a null value to a function, you'll get a runtime error. But we can get rid of that by sending it an empty string instead. And that is NZ. All right, I got a whole separate video on NZ as well. And if you don't specify the type here, it'll use whatever the default type is for that particular variable. And in this case, it knows it's a string, so it's going to send it an empty string. If you want to specify the value, you can put something after the comma here. Okay, so that's the way we're going to call this. We've already checked to make sure this guy isn't null, and the NZ will check to make sure these guys aren't null. Now, once we get the result back from FindBetween, it's going to go sit inside of S. Now we can deal with it. If S equals empty string, that means it wasn't found, then status not found. Otherwise, status S. Just display the value. And that's it. See how nice and easy it is? Once FindBetween's already written, now it's very easy to work with it and use it. Let's go test it. There, I resized it a little bit off screen, made it a little bit bigger. Okay, save it, close it. All right, put it back up. There we go. Let's put that data in here that we had before. So I'm going to go back to my code vault. I'm going to copy that, copy and paste. All right, let's say we're looking for US dollars. Okay, so I want the beginning of it to be this. And the ending of it is going to be a comma. Okay? Find between. Boom. There's your value. All right. Let's say we're looking for Canadian dollars. CAD. Same thing. Find between. Boom. You want to give it enough so that you are sure you're getting that tag. That's why I did the whole thing. I mean, you could just do like USD, that, but we're just making sure, right? Now, again, in the case of the euro, it's at the end. Now, if we don't know what order these are going to come back in, sometimes maybe euro comes in up front. Okay, let's do this. Let's say we're looking for a euro. All right, and I hit find between. It doesn't find it. But if I specify that second end tag, it could be this, right? Could be the end curly brace. Now it finds it. So I would specify these for all of these guys in this particular case. Okay, let's try this XML example. Okay, put the data up here. Now let's say we're looking for US dollars. So we need that. And we need /USD on the end. And we shouldn't ever need an end tag for that one, because it's always going to have that close tag. And there we go. Works the same. That's one benefit of XML, is it's always got, every bit of data has always got a closing tag that's the same. It doesn't always have that comma like JSON sometimes does. And yes, most web APIs today will return either XML or JSON. I personally prefer XML, but I know JSON's the way of the future. So, and no, before you ask, there is no built-in JSON interpreter for Access, but Alex, one of my admins on the website, does have a third-party utility. I'll put a link to it down below. However, I've personally found that I don't always need to pull in complete sets of data from the web. I just want usually just bits of information. So my find between function has always worked fine for me. What about plain text data? If you get it like this. All right, in this case, let's look for US dollars. So the beginning of it's going to be USD colon. Now we're going to have to find on the end there, if it always comes in this particular order, we're looking for AUD. And there we go. I found it again. Let's try finding AUD. And we'll look for CAD coming after it. There. And the trim should handle getting rid of the spaces. Now, the key with this one is obviously these have to be in the same order. If you're looking for the euros in this case, you'd have to go EUR and then leave that blank. You can leave the end text blank and the start text blank. And if that's the case, it goes to the end of the file. So if you're looking for something at the beginning without a start tag, then you just leave start text blank. In the future, I might update the code so that it goes to the end of the line. Just have an option here, stop at end of line or something, but I haven't written that yet. So maybe if needed, I haven't needed it yet because 9 times out of 10, if you're just getting plain text stuff, it always comes in the same order. But yeah, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of the times, and I'm going to be using this on my account balances database, if you're pulling information from like a credit card web page or your bank web page, whatever, usually you go to that page, you just copy all the text, and then you can paste it into Access or into a text editor or whatever, and stuff comes like this, right? So if you're going to program Access and you want to try to find what are your pending charges, well, you just take pending charges, put that in the start, take posted charges, put that in the end tag, and then hit find between, and there's your value. See? I use this extensively. But again, if the data gets reformatted on their end, if they change their web page around, as they do, then you got to redo your code. So that's why I wrote find between. It makes it real easy to just change things up. So there you go. That's find between. We're going to be using this extensively in the next several lessons, maybe not in a row. I've got some more planned for the future, but we'll be using this in future videos for sure because we're going to be doing a lot more with getting values off the web. If you've been following my account balances stuff, we're going to be getting, you go to your bank web page or your credit card web page, you can pull in that text and you can find stuff on the page using find between. And of course, we'll be doing more with the web API videos, and we'll use find between to get and parse the data that's returned from that. If you like the stuff in my code vault, there's lots and lots of code in the code vault, folks. Consider upgrading to a gold member today if you're a silver member, or if you're not a member at all, what are you waiting for? This stuff is great. It's literally worth its weight in gold. And well, since it's a digital product, I guess it doesn't have any weight, but you know what I mean. And again, Access Developer Level 32 covers all this cool stuff, getting data from the web API like we did before, and this find between function and lots more. But that's going to do it for today's video, folks. That was your tech help video for today. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for some cool stuff, including some ChatGPT videos. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the tech help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.